Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another Monster Hunter video, and today I want to talk about another exciting topic, and that is dangerous first-class monsters, sometimes also referred to as black dragons. Some of the singular most powerful creatures to ever grace the worlds of Monster Hunter. Creatures so fearsome that they can quite literally devastate the environments and the worlds they reside in, and creatures that, more often than not, are so dangerous that there really isn't much documentation on them. Many unknown and unidentified, but at the same time, creatures that no doubt you have crossed paths with at some point in your monster hunting journey. So today, we're going to talk about the top 5 most dangerous monsters in Monster Hunter. If you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated, and let me know from this list which monsters do you enjoy fighting the most, and do you agree with this list, or do you feel there is something else that belongs in this spot? So, first things first, first-class monsters. What is known about them? Well, very little is known about dangerous first-class monsters, to a point where there is even no documents or other forms of material to go by about them. All of them are hidden away as monsters of legend, often referred to with just question marks, unknown or unidentified, and many things about them, such as where they live and their abilities, is merely assumption. It is said by the Hunters Guild that these monsters can bring the world to destruction if they wanted to. In older games, black dragons were usually only labelled with a question mark, the sort of famous Monster Hunter question mark. Monster Hunter World Iceborne, however, changed this by giving icons to both Alatreon and Fatalis. And with that, we have already named 2 of the dangerous monsters. So let us begin. Fatalis is one of the earliest recorded black dragons, or first-class monsters, and while there are 3 forms of Fatalis, black, crimson and white, for the purposes of this video we're going to speak about the base black Fatalis, but no, all variations are dangerous and will without question cause devastation. Fatalis resembles a traditional western dragon with a long serpentine neck and tail, along with a pair of large yet muscular wings, and its body is covered in rigid black scales and lined with white spines along its back. Its head features 4 backward-facing horns and rows of enlarged teeth and fin-like ears. Like many other monsters, Fatalis has a pale underbelly, and like most other elder dragons, it also possesses 6 limbs. But its 4 limbs are surprisingly thin, belying immense strength. Fatalis is, of course, an extremely powerful monster, able to wipe out entire hunting parties with relative ease. Its primary weaponry lies in its flame breath, fabled to have reduced a kingdom to ashes within a single night, which can be utilised to produce either a stream of fire or explosive projectiles. Fatalis is also able to release a cloud of flammable dust and set it alight, similar to Teostra, and is known to use its whip-like tail and powerful bone-crushing jaws to defend itself from nearby attackers. So it is, without question, a very dangerous monster, one that many people in Iceborne struggled to defeat. Following on from Fatalis, we have Alatreon. Alatreon is elementally unstable, possessing control over the dragon, fire, ice, thunder, and water elements. When transitioning into flight mode, Alatreon will fly high into the air and can rain down ice crystals. Some of these ice crystals fall on random spots, while others may target certain players. Alatreon will only use the water elements while in the air, and it is said that it has the abilities of all the true Elder Dragons: Kushala, Chameleos, Lunastra, Teostra, Valhazak, Velkhana, and Namiel, although since it is elementally unstable, it's unable to truly harness those powers. It is also able to call down lightning to strike the hunters, much like White Fatalis, both on the ground or in the air. And when it is about to perform this attack, its horns will also crackle with lightning, damaging anything in contact with it. Its colours are also more pronounced and will shift to reflect its various elemental modes. Alatreon are of course also very territorial, and this may be the reason why no other monsters live in the Sacred Land. Alatreon will attack most of their prey from the air, giving them an advantage over most other monsters, and it's also very aggressive towards flying objects, mainly airships. The next monster is one that some of you may not have encountered depending on when your hunting journey began, and that is Dimoralis. Dimoralis is a very large, semi-aquatic elder dragon. Its body structure is reminiscent of Fatalis, with relatively short limbs and a long tail and neck. Its body is filled with a magma-like substance which pools at the base of the tail, the chest, and each of the shoulders. Each of these pools directs magma flow to certain parts of the body, and on its back are a pair of wing-like appendages. Seemingly useless in terms of flight, these wings feature cannon-like chutes which can extrude huge globules of magma, both as a means of defense and as a way to get rid of excess magma. Dimoralis' head features a frill-like structure and an upturned snout. It's a rather unique monster because it can shoot magma balls out of its highly specialised wing plates, which fly into the air and land explosively around the area. Dimoralis can also be fought both on land and underwater, frequently changing between the two, and it's also known to use its massive, heavy tail to crush and smack opponents. One of the most recent additions to the first class roster is that of Safijiva. Safijiva is a large red dragon that, in contrast to its juvenile form, Xenojiva, no longer has otherworldly appearance. Its scales now rigid, very resistant to damage and less tenderized, and red in colour with some dark accents on many parts, such as the horns, feet, spikes, and wing edges. Its wing webbing and underside, however, is a tan colour, and its body parts no longer glow except for when absorbing energy or when in its super critical state. And many spikes run from its neck along its back to the tail tip. Safijiva keeps its arms bent and its chest close to the ground, unlike its juvenile form, which keeps its arms outstretched and its chest high off the ground. This can give the impression that Safijiva is smaller than its younger counterpart, despite them being almost identical in size, with the former being slightly longer. Unlike its younger form, Safijiva possesses greater mastery over its flame-like energy and can use it in many ways, such as its standard beams and also a focused laser. The laser sends out energy into the ground, causing an energy eruption after a brief delay. The energy can erupt in a sweeping motion or a massive single burst, and Safijiva can even shoot its beam for a short moment to stagger a hunter and then follow up with a continuous beam. It's also physically very aggressive as well, not afraid to attack hunters up close. Safijiva is without question a very devastating monster. And then finally, another addition that many would not have thought, myself included, on account of it being from Monster Hunter Frontier, and that is Disufedora. Disufedora possesses a body structure and a behavioural pattern similar to that of Alatreon. Its underbelly is crimson and streaked with blue stripes, while its upper body is white in colour and bears small pockets of ice frozen to its hide. It has several protrusions tipped light blue in colour on its lower jaw and chest, and it controls a unique element called the Frozen Seraphim element, which is a combination of the fire, ice, and dragon elements. It uses all of these to deadly degree in battle. Among its most notable abilities are its ability to summon massive ice pillars, fire a dragon element laser that ricochets off a fabricated iceberg, and summon massive tornadoes of fire and ice. However, its most infamous attack is used only at the very beginning of the hunt, in which Disufedora will fire massive spheres of ice and fire that rain across the arena and explode. In its Shiten form, Disufedora is capable of several buffed versions of these attacks, including a more dangerous and multiplicative version of its tornado attack. This is a monster that I do wish I had a chance to fight, but alas, with Frontier being no longer around, I'll have to rely on videos. There is technically one more monster, and that is even more likely to be a creature you will not have encountered unless you played Monster Hunter Online, and that is Mephistophilin. But since this video is about the top 5, then we will cap it there. If of course you do want to know about this other monster, let me know down below, and we can always do a future video on that. But for the time being, that is pretty much it. That's a little look at first class dangerous monsters, the top 5 most dangerous monsters in Monster Hunter. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have missed some of the recent videos, be sure to check out one of these ones and keep it locked for plenty more.